In the previous lesson, we looked at adding a style sheet. And in the style sheet, you can specify HTML right in here. And we looked at using an element selector where you just put the name of it and then you put the styles that you want here. Now, one thing worth noting that, let's go back to here. If you go to the computed ones, let's suppose for a moment that I wanted to change the color of the text to red. You have to use the styles that the browsers recognize and the standards, the styles that the bodies, the Mozilla, Firefox, and everyone has agreed upon. Well, Chrome and Firefox and Safari. And anyway, long story short, these need to be valid. So just for a great example, let's suppose I just put text color equals red, or is red. If I try that, nothing's going to happen because text color is not a recognized style. I happen to know that just color is red, or color is the font color, so you can change it right there. Awesome. Now let's begin doing things that are a little bit more complicated. Let's suppose that we have one H1 sharks and another H1 whales, and we actually want slightly different colorings. This is where we get into using classes. So remember those attributes that we talked about? A standard attribute is called a class attribute. So I'm going to say class equals, we'll give it bright, or we'll say shark style. And then we'll down here and we'll say class equals whale style. So both of these have classes, and the question is, how do we select them? Well, inside of a CSS sheet, you can specify a class by saying dot and the name of it. So shark style. Let's suppose that we want all our sharks to be red because they've been eating a lot of fish, and I guess the blood's in the water. And the other one will do whale style, and we want its style to be, let's do green because I know some of them eat plankton and other kind of green things. So let me zoom out a little bit so we can see this a little bit better. If we've done this right, the shark should stay red and the whale should stay, which would be green. Perfect. The other selector that is commonly used is known as an ID. So class is linked with a dot and ID is with a pound. So let's do one more. ID equals shark header. Doesn't really matter what we call it. And we target that with a pound. So I'm going to say shark header. We're going to say the color, we'll come down in the next lesson. We'll say font family. We'll just do Arial, something that's a little bit different. We redo it, and boom. So in this lesson, we've briefly covered the fact that a style sheet allows you to list a bunch of styles, and then you are targeting tags on the page by either the tag name, the class name with a dot, that links to that, or you can do an ID, and it links to that. Now, in the next lesson, we're going to talk about when would you use a class, when do you use an ID, and what is meant by a selector weight.